Okay, well, here's our lab for Design 330. It'll be kind of a short one today, but I wanted to go over HVAC systems and give you a little heads up for next week. You've done some calculations. I thought it would be good for you to be able to actually see what one looks like. So here's just a big box. It's a big building. There's a roof. Let's see if I go shaded. If you can no, it's shading out the architecture. Um, but you can see there's an HVAC that's called the air handler. It's the air handler, and this is the supply side. This is what's going into the building. We still have to also figure out how we're going to get air out of the building back into here. But this is sort of how an HVAC system works. There's a unit on the roof. It spreads the air out into the building, and then somewhere you suck air from the building and put it back into the HVAC unit. And so here it is. Here's that air handler that we've put on the roof. You just need to know that it's just blowing air across some hot or cold pipes. And those pipes get hot or cold depending on if you have a condenser and a compressor that pushes the refrigerant through, or if it's hooked up to like a gas or hot water system. So, but basically, there's a big blower that blows air over these coils. Those coils get chilled or heated from something, and it pushes the air out. So let's see what it looks like up here. Here's the big blower. That's the air handler unit. Somewhere up on here, this one's called a packaged unit. So it's got the compressor and condenser already in it. It's a packaged unit. And it says how big it is. I put in 30,000 BTU. Divide that by 12,000, right? So it's like a 2.5 ton unit. So it might be appropriate to one of the sizes of your areas. And the air comes out through these ducts and then goes and distributes to these little air terminals that blow it into the room. Now, what I haven't done is what they call the return air, which would look pink, and it would have one or two registers that would hook up to the other side of this so that it could suck air out of the room. But we'll go over that. We'll go over that next week. I just kind of wanted to show you what that looks like. And this is what it looks like in the plan view. And it just happens. It just comes. These things all come together. So this is how easy it is for you to make your HVAC system, and you can even make it coarse. And that's how it's often shown. And you can tag these with the size and all that kind of stuff. The other cool thing that you can do is you can highlight a whole bunch of this. Um, Let me just highlight as an example that part of it. And I can do something called in my analyze, I can somewhere around here, I can, now I have to go find it again because they've changed it all around. I can resize these things. So I can check my duct systems and make sure they work. I can make my levels, but I should also be able to automatically, now I got to go find all this stuff again because they move it. I'll go find all that before next week. I can auto size all of that. It's kind of cool. I can highlight all that stuff. Oh, there it is. Duct pipe sizing. And I can size all that. We use 700 feet per minute and calculate size only. Branch sizing. Ah, look at that. It went out on me right in the middle of my demonstration. That's really annoying. See where I am even. See if it'll let me back in. There we go. I think it's going to let me in now. That probably happens. There it is. And so I can go okay. And sizing failed for what? Oh, I guess I didn't. That's okay. There's no flow in this area, so it's just telling me that. And now if I look at this, not on coarse, but on medium, it shows me where I've made things bigger, where I've made things smaller, what size things are, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. I can resize everything. When I do that, there are some special things that I want to do. I don't want to use some of these connectors. I want to use elbows and tabs. So there's some work to do when I do my resizing. But we'll talk about that next week. But there we go. That's your HVAC system. Air handler, ducting, terminals. Supplying the air to the building is called supply air. Returning from the building is called return air. And that's what we do next week. Okie doke. We're going to put it in there, figure out where these go, size them all up, and that will be your work for next week.